thank you so very much for being back. And if you just joined us, you're still on to Enterprise Morning, reaching you from Enterprise Television. Let's head straight to our main conversation for today. The federal government has come under serious criticism from opposition political parties following the recent proposal from the Revenue, Mobilisation, Allocation and Fiscal Commission to increase the salaries of political office holders in Nigeria. RMAFC Chairman Mohammed Shehu had on Monday reportedly hinted at the plan and described the current earnings of the president and other political office occupants as inadequate, unrealistic, and outdated in the face of rising responsibilities and economic challenges. According to Shehu, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu currently earns 1.5 million naira monthly, ministers less than 1 million naira, which he said had remained unchanged since 2008. The People's Democratic Party (PDP), New Nigeria People's Party (NNPP), and African Democratic Congress (ADC) have all rejected the proposed salary increase for political office holders, describing it as insensitive, tone-deaf, and ill-timed, given Nigeria's worsening economic situation. Former presidential candidate of the Labour Party, Peter Obi, has faulted the federal government's plan to raise the salaries of political office holders, that is, describing the move as insensitive and unjustifiable given the current economic hardship in the country. In a statement released late Wednesday on X, Obi described the move as shameless grab for more at the expense of Nigerians' struggling majority. Obi urged the government to redirect its focus towards improving the living condition of public workers who are the backbone of the country. Yes, so let's do some talking this morning. I have with me Barrister Tunji Abdulhamid, Barrister Law Public Affairs Analyst, to see through what we have, and still Emeka Madunago, Journalist, Public Affairs Analyst also. Thank you so very much, gentlemen, for being here. Barrister Tunji, can you hear me?
Thank you for having me.
All right.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you so very much both for being here. And I'd love to start with you, Barrister Tunji Abdulhamid. What do you have to say about this? I remember yesterday we were discussing on the Minister for Power and all that he showcased, and right now we have it that 1 million naira as ascribed to them is not adequate with respect to the growing reality of the now. Speak to me, please.
But what they are doing and what they are portraying does not portray the fact that they are collecting 1 million naira. Some of these ministers who are there for just a few months or a few weeks or whatever, they've acquired things worth millions of naira or billions, if not. You see, let's go to the issue. What's it called? Those in leadership positions, or those who have opportunity to be in the position of authority, only think about themselves, and that's why they will be thinking about increasing salary at this moment, when they are pleading or telling other Nigerians to be patient and to tighten their bets and sacrifice in the interest of the country. They are not ready to sacrifice. They are giving us the basic salary, which they say is president is 1.5 million or so. The ministers not up to 1 million, but they refuse to tell us that outside this salary or basic salary, there is what they call allowances that runs into millions of naira monthly. That's what they call free housing. That's what they call free accommodation. That's what they call free health services in it. There's free traveling allowances in it. Free health tackle. Some of these things run into millions, and yet they are telling us about the basic salary. Yeah, we know that for every Nigerian, 1 million naira may not be enough for their level to survive. But what I'm saying is that apart from that 1 million naira basic salary, there are other incentives that make that 1 million naira becomes like a multiple of millions. So it is insensitive for anybody to even think of increasing salary of people in authority when Nigerian worker merely take away minimum wage of 70,000 naira, and some states are not even paying it. Some are paying less than that. Some are owing, not paying it. So at the level that we are, that the government is making us realize that things are not okay, that we need to sacrifice. Is it the time for us to talk about increasing salary of people in authority who are already making more money from other side, from a side, who are collecting allowances? Look at the National Assembly member, for instance. They are collecting, according to them, some of them, minimum of 30 million or 40 million a month. But if they tell you the basic salary, it may not be up to 1 million. But every other allowances combined together make it like 40 million or so. Yet they will come and say our salary is not good. They need to improve on it. This is a deceit, as far as I'm concerned, and it's insensitive. For me, I do not see any basis for that increment. I do not see any reason why they should even think of it and tell Nigerians that their salary is low when they live in affluence. When they move from one place to another, they have like 10, 15 convoy, jeep, expensive jeeps, and then yet they tell us about their basic salary. They forgot to tell us about the other expenses, other allowances and other things. For me, I don't agree with it. It's insensitive. It's not in line with what is the reality on ground that are being told by the government. Because the reality on ground by the government, as far as government is concerned, is that they are not able to do what they are supposed to do because there is no money, or the money on ground is not enough to achieve what we intend to achieve. So in that regard, I do not see there's no basis for them talking about increment in salary for now. That's my take.
So very much, Barrister Emeka. Isn't this a glaring show of hypocrisy? According to open source research, as I can see here from a particular website called The Republic, where serious journalism is being made possible, it stated here that as at 2024, November 3rd, the net worth of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is about $13.4 billion. That is his net worth. That is what is recorded here. And yet, we have a president who does not have what it takes to tell his people, hey, come on, let's focus on the people rather than ourselves. Why is this so, Emeka?
Well, when you are not in office to serve, that's the kind of thing you have. I mean, the president, I think his basic is 500,000 naira. Then the allowances get about 17 allowances. You know, the president also gets constituency allowance, which is 250% of the basic. The president gets hardship allowance, which is 50% of that basic. So by the time you add all of these things, you know, I think the Revenue Mobilisation Commission, by the way, should even be scrapped. It's an illegal body because you cannot have, like the former Minister of Labour, Dr. Chris Ngige, I think he once said that there are 13 different salary packages in the public service. It is wrong. You have the Office of Incomes and Wages, salaries, incomes and wages, that determines salaries for civil servants. Then you now have the Revenue Mobilisation Commission that determines salaries for public office holders. You know, appointive and elective public office holders. Why should there be that distinction? Why should you provide accommodation, you provide security, but all these people, they don't need these things. That is why you will see that, you know, they would not want somebody like Peter Obi to be there. You know, somebody who will, by the way, tell you that he doesn't even need a salary. The US President, Donald Trump, is basically on $1 per month a salary. So these are people who are serious. But you know the problem of Nigerians. When we attack people like Peter Obi, who try to draw us to the reality of our station, you know why people do that? Because their meal tickets, you know, because their feeding bottles are being filled from that very trial. So when you see all of these people coming to say this, that, and the other, it is because they are feeding from that trial. When you see somebody like Tinubu governor of Anambra State, talking on our one term, using very crude language, unbecoming of the status of a governor of a state. Then you begin to question when you constantly say that people, are deluded. You constantly tar people with psychiatric challenges. Then it's necessary to even check your own psychiatric state, your own state of mind. That is why you see corruption persist, because Nigerians are the enablers of corruption. We are the enablers of oppression. The ordinary people fight those who try to tell them the truth, because everybody is hoping one day my brother or my sister will enter there. And that is why you see the successive chairmen of the revenue mobilization commission have been fixated on increasing salaries. Look, it just amounts to a futile rate, because for someone like President Tinubu, what exactly are you increasing his salary for? It will be meaningless. Insofar as you are paying in naira, it will be meaninless. The naira has been devalued more than 1,000 times, more than 1,000%. I'm sorry. So, if you're not increasing somebody's salary, and then it's still denominated in naira, it's meaningless. Of what value is it? Of what value is it? These people, somebody who has 17 allowances apart from the salary. And when you go to the Enabling Act, the Public Officeholders Act, you will see that some of them are written to be provided, to be provided, to be provided. So it just tells you that that body, that RMAFC, should be disbanded. It's an illegal body that should be disbanded. There should be only one body handling salaries and allowances and emoluments for all categories of workers in that government. Thank you.
Barrister Tunji Abdul Hamid, it is the duty of the opposition to go against everything the ruling party is talking about. But unfortunately, when the same opposition gets into power, you see them repeat the same mistake they castigate when they were not there. So is this equally an issue of hypocrisy from the opposition also? Because if they had been there, they wouldn't even be speaking for the people like they are doing now.
Henry, why I will agree with you that some of the hypocrisy is part of what some of them are doing. I would disagree with you that they are saying what they are saying because they are in opposition. And this is the reason. This is one of the reasons why those in government will not take whatever when you are giving a suggestions, valid suggestion. That's why they will not take it serious, because they will read politics into it. When you say they are saying what they are saying because of their political stand, yes, they may be in the opposition, but they are also Nigerian. So they also have the right to criticize policy of government that's not good, whether or not they are in the opposition. After all, when these people are in government today were in the opposition, and they did the same thing. So for me, it is not even the responsibility of those who call opposition to challenge or even attack government policy that is not working or that's not good. It's for every Nigerians. If you leave it for, we've been leaving this for the opposition or for the politicians, and this is the reason why we are where we are today. Let's look at what they have said, whether or not it's genuine or not. Leave whether or not they've been in power before, or they are in opposition before, or this and that before. I agree with you, it's hypocrisy sometimes, because when they were there, they were not able to do some of those things they are saying now. But there is no evidence that when they were there, they increased salaries of political politicians in this manner. So if they have similar traits, that effect, you can say, well, when they were there, they were increasing, they were adding more to it. But that's not we cannot generalize it. We are talking about increment in salary, and they are making their position known regarding that increment of salary of political office holders at this level, at this stage, is insensitive. I wish I agree with them, whether or not they are from opposition, whether or not they are from the politician or whatever they are, or whether or not they have been in government before. I don't care about that. I care about what they say. I will not deal with the messenger. I will deal with the message. Is the message correct? Are they saying the right thing? Is it in line with what most Nigerians will say? I think most Nigerians, if you do your findings, will tell you the increment in salary of any political office holder today is insensitive and it's not good for us, for our system. And it will be seen as selfish game for those political offices holder. These are people, some of them, majority of them, who are already made. The salary of the president, I'm not sure is going to do anything with it. I'm not sure that it's not going to use that one to even take care of his family or whatever. The family are already made. No, but he's not looking for money to save for anybody, to train anybody, or to do anything for anybody. He's wanting to survive, and he's surviving already. To eat is free at the Aso Rock for him. To wear clothes is free for the president. For some other political office holders, majority of them, it's like that. They live in free houses. They won't pay rent. They won't be paying rent. The food they will eat most times are free. The clothes they wear most times are free, and they get other things in that regard. So what are we saying, that the money they are collecting is not enough for them to do their job, when the allowances are times 10 or of what the so-called salary you are talking about, or even sometimes times 100 of the so-called salary you are talking about? The president traveled to Brazil now. By the time they come back from Brazil, most of the people that follow the president, not even the president, some of them are millionaires already, just for traveling for one trip. So what are we talking about? And they may do that travel 3 times in a month or even more. Because even when they travel within the country, or they move from one place to another within the country, they collect a circle. So these are not known to the public. These are not being considered. They were giving us a few. They collect 750,000. Yes, the 750,000 is enough for you to maintain yourself to an extent, because of other benefits that you are getting from the office. As far as I'm concerned, I will not look at the fact that those speaking are from the opposition to make my point, or to even either support or not support their position. I support what they have said, whether or not they've been in power before, whether or not they are from opposition. That's my take.
Very much, because it's very important that we understand the need for us to focus on the message and forget about the messenger, which you have rightly said. But Emeka, I'd love us to go to the profligacy of those in power today. I remember during the inauguration of the president, the wife, Remi Tinubu, said that they would not take anything from Nigerians, that they've made so much money. They don't need any Nigerian money any longer. But many months after, we could see the level of profligacy within the government. Emeka, do you know that the president of Ghana, Mahama, does not have a private jet? In fact, the Japan visit they all went to, he went on an Emirates airline to Japan. So speak to us on the profligacy of Nigeria and its leaders, as opposed to what other countries in sub-Saharan Africa are equally doing.
Yeah, thank you. You see, it's this idea of giant of Africa, one, and then this idea that oil will continue to flow, so we can keep borrowing, is a typical Nigerian mentality, and that is why, for instance, you see these digital lenders flourishing very well, because we have this idea that we can continue to borrow, even as individuals, as government, as companies. We can continue to borrow. We can waste. Even the little we have, we don't manage well. But we now expect that, our oil prices will continue to remain high, so that we can be, we can always borrow. They tell you that oil output has increased. It has got to this, it has got to that. But we the figures. We get 60% of oil production, and then the majors, they get 40%. But the question nobody is asking is this: who is actually doing who is actually checking what is being calculated and what is being paid? That is one. Two, how much actually comes to the economy outside of forward sales, and loans that we've taken, that we've backed with crude oil? How much? We are servicing loans with about 65% of our oil revenues. So how much comes into the economy? So that is why you see the borrowing is endless. Now look at where the trick is. they, convert money, convert dollars. $1 is 1,630. So when you convert it, when you convert $1 million, there's so much money. There's so much naira. It's deliberate. The devaluation of the naira is deliberate to take care of profligacy. That's why I tell people that the crisis we have in Nigeria, all the crises are contrived. There's nothing just happening like that. No. When people tell you, oh, pray to God about Nigeria's problems, they are just wasting your time. Because God has given us enough resources. He has given us, brains to use, in managing our resources. So when we now waste, we still expect the same God to shower, manna from heaven. It's not going to happen. The president of Ghana traveling on Emirates. What about the British Prime Minister? Goes on British Airways. How many countries in the world do their leaders have private jets, official residences? The president of the United States, he pays for some of the things, food and all of those things. But in Nigeria, people who accompany the president, each of them gets $1,000 per night as an extra code. So why do you think all these characters that you see coming out on social media to attack Peter Obi? It is because they also want to be listed in those delegations. So when they say those things, they believe that, oh, somebody in Aso Rock will see them. And okay, when there's a delegation traveling, that where the president will spend like 2 weeks or maybe 1 month. They imagine now $1,000, like by Satunji said, imagine $1,000 per night, per year. When you calculate it, if you're away, for maybe 20 days or so, you are not going to spend your money on feeding, or on hotel accommodation. Everything will be provided. Transportation will be provided. Free money. So you can use that money to shop. So what do you expect? What do you expect? Such people will be willing to cost even their fathers and their mothers.
Are you still there?
Others, so that they can, we have a, existing that is, that is not offering value to the people. That is it. That profligacy, wastefulness, all these things are contrived.
Emeka, are you still there? All right, let's move to Barrister
to make
Tunji.
sure that the people are poor, 2,000, 5,000 subs and all of that. And at the end of the day, be a day of reckoning. You see all of these things, there will be a day of reckoning. Thank you.
Thank you so very much. Barrister Tunji, let's talk about the responsibility of the judiciary in making sure that all of these things are nipped in the bud. The judiciary holds the government responsible for exercising judicial reviews to declare actions of the legislative and executive branches unconstitutional or invalid. With all of these things happening, Barrister, how do you think we can use the court, the judiciary, to ensure that at least let's hold our leaders accountable to some extent? Do you think it's ever possible in today's Nigeria where virtually everyone is standing on the mandate?
That is where the problem is. The mandate everybody is standing on. Where the way and manner we behave. Everybody wants to be seen as a lover of the president. Everybody wants to be seen as a patriotic citizen. And some of them see patriotism as a supporting government or supporting the president. So for me, the way and manner our system is structured today and the way and manner things are going, it's going to be difficult for you to see anybody to stand firmly. It's been difficult now to see people that can stand firm and say this is the stand of the law, this is the stand of the whatever, and this is where I will go. And that's why you see all the conflicts you see in our law today, because people are not, those who are supposed to dispense justice are not standing firmly. So you see conflicts in whatever they are turning out because of the fear of either being removed or either being victimized. You remember that if a former CJN, Chief Justice of Nigeria, can be removed by way of expertise. So what happened? What would be of an honorary judge in a particular state? So for me, they are all afraid of that, of being removed, or being victimized, or being punished. And some of them want to play to the gallery and play the game the way it will favor them and those in government. And that's why you are not seeing what you are talking about. Nobody, they don't have the, some of them, majority of them, I'm not saying all of them, some of them are not even ready to check anybody. They want to play safe. And like I said, I won't blame them. When the CJN was removed, free ex party order, what happened thereafter? Nothing. Life goes on, and nothing happened. Nobody stand to support him or to fight for him, or to even ask him to. But although eventually it was settled, and the man was he was removed, albeit by expertise. So it's going to be difficult for me to sit here, or it's going to be very, very unfair of me to sit here and say there are people who can hold the government to account, the judiciary, or the judiciary will stand up to against the government when things are going. I don't see them do that. It's going to be very difficult. Is that not the reason why you see what happened in the River State? State of emergency was declared. People went to court, Supreme Court for that matter. Up to date, no date has been fixed for that case. So do you think it's coincidence? As far as I'm concerned, it's deliberate. Because the Supreme, such a case should be a very, very urgent case. And Supreme Court should be able to deal with it even within a sitting or two sittings. To date, no one has even fixed a date for that. And this is almost 6 months of the state of emergency. So this is the issue we have. We don't have people who can stand up to the authority and call a spade a spade. The majority of them are timid. So the timidity is affecting things here. And like I said, you cannot associate.
Are you still there, Barrister?
Mandate of the people to check the government, to check the executive, are not doing so. So you cannot put that responsibility to the judiciary. It is the responsibility of the National Assembly to do that. It is when those National Assembly have failed, or there is dispute on what the steps they have taken, that judiciary will come in. So, but now today, both are not even working. Judiciary, the National Assembly, nobody's checking anybody, and nobody's doing everybody, and that's why the executive is doing whatever they like. You can see in Osun State, the allocation have been withheld on the ground that there is a dispute as regarding the local government, when there are clear orders of court as to who should be the local government chairman. That is the country we are having. So you cannot blame the judiciary in that regard has done its own, and he will not be the one to say we have given judgment. Oh yeah, police, why are they not enforcing it? No, it's not within his power. It is a executive that will also that has been making that not to happen because those who are supposed to dispense the allocation, to allocate the money or send the allocation to the respective local government or the state are withholding it, and they are under the control of the executive. Unfortunately, nobody's checking them, and even the Attorney General that people see before now as one of the man that will withstand the pressure and that will not play to the gallery and that will do the needful. He's been showing that, look, when you are in politics, you must play by the rule. Otherwise, you have to be out of it. And in Nigeria, most people don't like going out of the system. They don't like being sacked or relinquishing their position or to protect their integrity. They just want to be there and do it the way it comes. It's unfortunate that that's the country we are.
Barrister, currently the Nigerian Bar Association is holding its national conference. Last year, the keynote speaker was Dr. Okonjo-Iweala, who spoke so much about the roles of the judiciary in holding the government responsible. This year in Enugu, Julius Malema, I understand, will be equally the keynote speaker. He is a Pan-Africanist who equally stands up against lots of things that the government is doing wrong. So don't you think that this gathering of a notable organization which you belong might in one way have a little strength to do or talk about it? Do you think the things like this would be mentioned in the conference happening this year?
You just said it. There's no way you will see anybody meeting that will not talk about this thing you are talking about, even ourselves. But it's not about talking it. They can only talk. They can't enforce it. Those who are supposed to enforce it are not doing anything, and they can't force them. The only thing they can do is just to say what they are saying and do and take the step they are taking. Write a letter to them, make a statement, and do all those things. They've been doing it. Well, so when you, it's the difference between speaking out on the following up with speaking out and enforcing it. The aspect of enforcement can only be achieved if all Nigerians or majority of Nigerians are ready to push for that accountability and transparency. But as long as most Nigerians will fold their arms and expect that one MBA, one opposition party, or one activist or the other who should be the one to fight for them, then nothing will change because they are just minority. So majority should stand up and fight for their rights and ask for accountability. I'm not saying they should go and carry cutlass and gun. Why seek for accountability and transparency in a legal form and in a proper way.
Well, seeking accountability in a proper way. Emeka, let's go to your area of forte, journalism. Currently, the media has become a lapdog of the government. Before now, during the military era, the media, which is the fourth realm of the state, were one of those biggest pressure group that were there to checkmate everything that's going on the side of the people against the government. Right now, this story that we're talking about is only made available on just one legacy media station. All others are just speaking about something else. Is the media right now equally lame?
Well, we have a captured media. I'm a part of it, and I'm ashamed of what the media has become. All that you see the media doing is basically to get clicks, to get traffic online, to get money. So they don't care if democracy dies. I'm just saying that the Nigerian media should be held responsible if Nigerian democracy dies. I'm a part of the media, and I feel ashamed. I've said it at Open Forum. I've said it in different places. It's so bad. Up at the Nigerian Guild of Editors issued a statement talking about the situation in the country, that government should increase allocation to education by up to 26%. I now did an audit of major newspapers in Nigeria. Some didn't even have it on their cover. Those ones that had it on their cover hit it at the bottom. And your editors, the body you belong to, expressed deep concern about the situation in the country. So you don't even feel that editors are worthy enough to even merit a headline, either the lead or the second lead. So what does it tell you? Even the media lacks self-awareness. The media doesn't expect that it is still an agenda setter. It is still an opinion molder. It is still a thought leader. Yes. So what you see basically that the media does, is that we are now sounding boards for government. Too often you see, there's one paper today talking about the shameful absence of Nigeria, the low performance of Nigeria at the international conference, on African development, Tokyo International Conference on African Development, TICAD 9, where we didn't occupy our booth. What did one major newspaper say? Presidency downplay. So what you are doing now is that you are a sounding board for government. You are not now an intermediary. What you are doing is that you are taking side presidency. So what you are doing is that you are placing the voice of the government over and above the voices of the people. There's some other quoting the presidential spokesman, Bayo Ononuga, what he said. The question is, you as a journalist, what is your own observation? What did you see? That's what we are taught in media school. What did what did you see? Don't tell me what the government is saying. What did you see? Of course, you'll find out that the media doesn't have anybody in those places. Because of the economic situation, we cannot send correspondents to cover events independently because we depend on government. We depend on private sector for patronage, which is very sad. So when you put all of these things together, you just even see that too often it's the government's voice that you see in the media. The electronic media is even worse. They will bring people whom, of course, when you put two and two together, it's possible they have even paid for their appearances. They will bring people to come and insult people. You will just be asking them leading questions. What do you think about this, that, and the other? Leading questions. You are putting words in their mouth. Meanwhile, there are policies that you should break down. Even policies of government, how do they affect you as the media? How do they affect the ordinary people? No, there are no discussions on that. And that's why I say, thank God, even for social media. Thank God for blogs. Because even though some blogs are irresponsible, but there are still some blogs that help us to bridge the huge information gap. You see individuals who will go on, social media and, explain certain things. Oh, look at the new tax law. Look at look at what and what and what. Look at the new Insurance Act. See this and this and this and this. Look at, but the media, we wait until government speaks. It is a shame. That is why you see impunity reigns. That is why you see people treat journalists with disdain. Because we don't even count ourselves as worthy of respect. And it's shameful. Thank you.
So very much. It's very important that we state some of these things, especially from the arms of the government, the executive, judiciary, the legislator, and equally the media, which is the fourth one. It's so very important that we come in unity, to make sure that some of these things work. Showore had just stated that he was asked to come to the police headquarters in Abuja yet again on the question of Sahara Reporters and why Sahara Reporters is doing so much reportage against the government, against Egbetokun, against lots of other things. And this speaks to the problem that we have. When people are there to speak the truth, the government tries to gag them as much as they can. I just sincerely hope that Nigeria will not descend to Venezuela under Nicolas Maduro, where everything in the country is captured. I truly do hope we don't descend to that level. Thank you so very much, gentlemen, for being here. Barrister Tunji Abdul Hamid, thank you so very much for your time.
Thank you for having me. It's my pleasure to be with you.
Emeka Madunagu, thank you as always for being here.
Thank you very much.
Right, people,
Yeah,
that's just about the time we have. We'd love to say thank you for making this picture complete. Please do well to visit us. You can find us at enterprisetvnews.com. You may equally like, comment, and follow us on all our social media platforms at Enterprise TV 7. I am Henry Igwebike. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.